dents everywhere. Let's see if we can fix a few more of them using paintless dent repair. Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage, and if you are coming here to watch me do some PDR, you may have already seen my first video, but if you haven't, click the link up in the corner and I go into detail and do an unboxing on the $90 Amazon PDR kit. Now, let me preface that by saying I'll go ahead and put a link below for the $90 kit, but I think that there's a better kit out there for beginners. There's a lot of stuff in the $90 kit that you probably do not need. So I'll also put a link down below to a cheaper kit for those who are wanting to get started with doing paintless dent repair. That being said, some of the things that I've learned being an amateur first-timer doing paintless dent repair that I think that you should know being the amateur first-timer. If you're a pro, get out of here. Go make your own videos. We know you're awesome. We suck. We don't need you telling us that. But if you're an amateur, you're wanting to learn how to do this, some of the things that I've learned is one, 90% of the dent is going to be fixed using the glue pull method. And that's what we're going to focus on today. We are going to be working on the wife's Jeep. And the sheet metal on the Jeep is like pulling dents out of paper. You got to be very careful because it's very easy to over pull the dent. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a bit. Now, on different vehicles like my Silverado, it takes multiple pulls to get the dent up. On the Jeep, one pull, you can actually invert the dent. We're not going to go into using the hammer and punch to smooth that out in this video. Maybe in a later on video, that is more advanced. And I don't necessarily think that I'm that good at that side of it. But what we are going to look at is what you can get done just using the glue pull method. You're going to go from, oh, this looks like crap because it's covered in dents, to, okay, there might be some dents I can see, but unless I'm really looking for it, most of them are blended in. We're going to reduce the dents by about 85 to 90%. And we're going to do this in a timely manner. Now, once again, we are amateurs, we are DIYers, we are shade tree mechanics, so we are not looking for perfection. That being said, a couple hours, you can pull quite a few dents. If you are working on one or two, maybe even three single dents, this is still going to be a good kit for you. You're still going to start with this step, but you're going to spend more time and focus on getting the dent perfect. That comes later on. You know, today we're just going to look at doing glue pulls and how we can quickly make something look a little less like hammered crap. So stick around. Okay, you're probably going to be able to see some of the dents just right now, but I'll go through real quick and I'll mark some of them with the China marker so you get a better idea where I'm working. And for this particular job, we're going to be using our trusty puller, our glue gun, of course, and then for the most part, we're just going to be using these smaller tabs. There's a couple bigger dents that may require some bigger tabs on there, but I found that you really don't need much more than these, at least in my opinion. On top of it, about the only other thing you need is a light. And this will help you out as you're working the dent over or trying to find the dents. So that's something else that you'll want to pick up. But let me go ahead and let me isolate some of these dents and maybe we can move in on them while I'm working on them so you can see what I'm talking about. If I can find my marker. There we go. Okay, that should give us something to work with. See if we can go ahead and grab those little ones. Okay. Okay. While the glue's heating up here, I've isolated a pretty small dent here. It's got a little bit of a ridge on it, but I think that we can pull it. Hopefully you can see this on the camera. I've lined it up in the light. You should be able to see the reflection of the light coming off there, the zebra light, and you should see where the lines are kind of dented out around it. And so we're looking to use a glue tab that's just about the perfect size for what looks to be the inner part of the dent, because we want to try and pull just the center section. So we'll see. Looks like our glue's getting warm enough. We'll try and go ahead and do a pull here. And we're going to start with about 20 seconds worth of cool time on that thing. because, as I said, if you wait too long on these Jeeps, the metal is so thin that you will pull too much of the dent. Make sure before you put your tab on, you clean it off with rubbing alcohol. If you don't have a sprayer like me, you might repurpose something like your old insect spray bottle. I need to write on there that this is rubbing alcohol so I don't actually try and use it for insect spray. Also, make sure you're using a clean rag for wiping this stuff off. You don't want to add any scratches to your paint. Okay, let's see. Now, glue wasn't quite warm enough. You can tell if the glue's not quite warm enough because it won't adhere worth a damn. So we'll give it a couple more seconds here. It's probably warm enough now. Spray a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the glue here on the hood and it'll peel right off. This can be a tedious process. The problem that I found out there is by watching all of the pros doing this, you see what can be done. It's not necessarily realistic. Yes, you could probably get to that point, but it's going to take months upon months, if not years, to get that level of expertise on being able to pull dents. So if you think that you're going to buy one of these kits and be able to come down to your garage and make this hood look brand new, you're fooling yourself. You need to set realistic expectations. Now, I can tell you that the side that I've already kind of worked on looks about 90% better. It is significantly better. So, yeah, that might have been a little better pull. We're still, tab's not wanting to grab glue. Let's try a different tab this time. We got a little bit of pull on the sheet metal, but said the tab's kind of being a pain. It happens. And while you're doing this, if you decide that you want to try and hit up a couple dents at once, that's what I generally do, because as I said, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for less noticeable dents in the hood. And so I'll usually work about 2, sometimes 3 tabs at once. I haven't tried this little domed yellow one. Let's give it a shot. It might work pretty good in that little dent. Tiny little dent there. Not much to pull. Okay. Man, I'm still not getting adhesion. It is a little bit warm out today. It's probably something to do with it. I may have to be letting these set a little bit longer than I normally do, but as I said, you're better safe than sorry because you don't want to over pull these dents. And I'll be honest, there's probably glue sticks that are better for better temperatures. The pros will tell you all about that, but as a DIYer or an amateur, you're not wanting to have to buy $300 worth of glue sticks based on the weather. We're using the what I believe they call kind of the yellow one, which is a more of an all-season style. There, we got a decent pull on that dent. Let's try and put some more glue on this other one while we do that. And I mean, that one's pretty good. You can just barely see the light on it. Let me see if I can get it into view here. There we go. So, if you follow the light there as I move the camera, you can just barely see it kind of pinch in right there. That's all that's left of that dent. So you can see there's another dent right there that's kind of pushed out. You can see how it bulges out. Same ordeal with that one. So okay, that's a better pull. Better pull. Still not as good as that yellow one, but maybe we'll try the yellow one on there if we didn't get enough movement on it this time. It's looking better. I can tell that it's pulled up a little bit. I'm going to do one more pull using this yellow tab because it seemed to grab the glue a little bit better. I'm not going to use that much glue. Looks like it's a little bit smaller, so we want to kind of tailor the amount of glue we use. I glued it to my thumb. Hold on. Don't do that. That was a good pull. That one felt good. That's probably going to be all she wrote for that dent. Let's do one more small pull on that one. Then we'll take a look at it up close. It's getting there. I'm having a hard time even finding it now. Okay, there's the first one right there. You can see it flexing a lot. And there's the second one, just barely moving over it right there. It is just almost gone. That's I would consider that good in my world, because I'm not going to be able to do any better than that, even trying to work the sheet metal out. So, and that's probably all we're going to need to do on this one. You start getting a feel for it. You start, you kind of understand how much you got to pull, how many pulls it might take to get it to the point where you're happy with it. Said if you're a perfectionist, this is probably not for you. But if you're looking to save a little money, it's definitely for you. Yeah, and we may have overpulled that one a little bit. It's a little high. It's a little high. You can kind of see it. It's right in that area right there. We could work on beating that thing down, but honestly, I'll do more damage than good on that one. So let's just look at this other one. This is a pretty big one. You can see that this one, pretty big chunk of hail hit that one. So we're going to hit that one with a little bit bigger of a tab. Let's spread the glue out pretty good. We're going to do a pretty quick pull on this one. We'll give it not quite as long to set up. And these are going to be harder to do. That almost looks like it got hit twice. Got hit by a hailstone and then hit by another hailstone later on. And honestly, that just may be because of the thin sheet metal on the Jeep. There's no telling. I'm not an expert. But if you wanted to see an expert do this, there's better places to do that. Yeah, because see how much sheet metal that's flexing whenever we pull up on that? May have been a little bit premature, probably need to let it set up a little bit longer, but I'm always wanting to err on the side of caution. So there you have it. From a glue pull only standpoint, I'd say it's about 75–80%. It looks a lot better. I mean, there's still a lot of dents. There's some high spots that we pulled up that are going to have to be worked back down. But for the time spent, a couple hours just using the glue pull method, it went from being, wow, that's a lot of dents, to you'd really have to kind of look at it to see them. So that's about all there was to it. As I said, it's real easy to pull the dent too far, and because of that, there will be a follow-up video where I try to use the old punch and I try to knock the sheet metal back down smooth, but it gets really complicated, especially whenever you're trying to work certain areas of the metal. Same thing with crowns. Some of those dents don't like to pull out because they get crowns in them, and whenever you get hard crowns, the dent is basically kind of locked into place until you smoothen the crown out, then you can pull the dent out. Maybe we can isolate a couple dents, and in a future video we will go through the process of cleaning up those dents, making it look better. But for now, hey, we are looking tons better than we did a couple hours ago. So for $30, $40, even $90 invested in a PDR kit, we have something that's not just glaringly ugly. Is it perfect? No, by no means. As I said from the get-go, we are not striving for perfection here. We are just looking to make something better. If you are looking for perfection, you need to go to a pro. We are not those people. We are the amateurs. We are the people who are willing to get our hands dirty. Hey, I want to thank you guys for tuning back into part 2 of the PDR series here. There's going to be probably part 3 and part 4 coming out in the future weeks as I learn more. And so this is a learning process between the two of us. If you have any tips or tricks, by all means, drop them down in the comments. Once again, if you're a pro and you see things that are glaringly wrong, which most of them probably are, yeah, you can leave a comment. Just don't ride me too hard over this ordeal. This is literally me trying to garnish information. I know you guys are awesome out there. I'm not trying to emulate the pros, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the pros. The pros who know what they're doing are artists. So, but that being said, plenty more content coming on. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and click the link down in the corner. You know, throw a thumbs up my way if you wouldn't mind. And as always, thanks for stopping by the garage.